Hey everybody, in this video we're going to go over how to import your own custom images and models into Modus. So I've got my default space loaded up here. First thing I'm going to do is come over to Objects and filter down into Custom, or I can just type in Custom into my search bar here. I'm going to see I've got my model and my image. I'm going to pull one of each of them in, rotate them around here. Alrighty. To get our custom images and or models in, we'll come over to the properties, and in our properties, we're going to be able to select our image. A couple things to keep in note here is that if you plan on sharing the space or sending it as a completed just folder of a project, if you keep the images in the same folder as the project file itself, Modus will remember the location based off of that. So you'll be able to send it as a completed package if you create your own custom images or custom models folder in that subset of folders with your project in it, or just in your Modus directory. If you import any image, say in your downloads folder, something not in the Modus file system, it'll still work. It'll just be more difficult to share that image with people if you choose to send your completed projects or a zip file of your completed projects. They'll have to come in and go through this process again of linking the image with the file. So for here, I'm going to go into my custom images, pull in an image. I've got a couple options here to lock or unlock aspect ratio. I can decide what face I want this to be mounted on. I can add or remove frame from it, and I can backlight the image if I so need to. Additionally, I can turn on acoustic absorption. This will work with our assistance reverberation burst. It'll act like an acoustically treated product, or if it's off, it'll act like a non-treated product, so it won't absorb sound. For 3D models, the process is very similar. Properties, select. So like it says here, we're going to be looking for a .fbx file. We'll be putting out another video on the specifics of the files. You should be able to find it just in the playlist. Should be right after this video. On the specifics of how to set these models up and get them ready for import in Blender. But once I've selected my model, I've got some similar toggles here. Attachable, which will make it so I can put other objects onto it. Or if I turn that off, oops, here, it'll be like a ghost. You won't be able to attach anything to it. Again, some more settings here with the model, what side of the model it's going to count as the mounting side, or like what's attaching to it. My units here, important depending on how your model is set up, or you can use freeform. This will let you resize the model. You don't get to stretch it in one direction. Like most Modus objects, imported models are just like a linear scaling that happens across the entire object. Position, again, it'll move where this mounting point is. Usually I'll keep it on pivot or on surface or surface center to keep it attaching how most models are laid out. I can rotate my models along these 3 axes. And if I lose track of my model, if I've made it so small that I can't see it, or I've accidentally shot it off in one direction, I can use this move toward center. It'll bring us back to the center of the room. I should be able to use my freeform or just turn my units back on auto to get it back to where it was. Resetting all is going to reset all of these settings back to their defaults. And then I can assign the materials that I've set up in the custom model itself. I can designate regions for materials, and then I can apply materials via the properties menu. All right, that about covers it on importing your own custom images and models and the settings that are allowed in there. Like I said, if you've got more questions on setting up custom models for import, just take a look at our Blender plus Modus video. We go into some more details over there. I'll catch you in the next one.